Vishyamavachim Mam Prasuttam Sanjeevayat Kila Shaktidharasvathamna Anyanscha Hastacharana Shravana Pragadin Pranam Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Gurun Hisvayam Satyaha Punya Bhakti Vinitayaha Vedishya Vivrada Nityam Tam Gurum Pranamamyaham Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Which one? 62. Start. Anandashriratano Nirmalyataschadanam
Vacha Shankam Khe Sthitaishcha Jatira
Murtim Charitramritaihi Rudrakshayir Bhasitena Deva Vapusho Raksham Bhavadbhavana Paryanke Viniveshya Bhakti Janani Bhaktarbhakam Rakshati Margavartita Paluka Pashupate Angasya Kurchayate Gandushambunishetanam Puradipo Divyabhishekayate Kinchid Bhakshitamam Sasheshakabalam Navyopaharayate Bhakti Kinna Karotyaho Vanacharaha Bhaktavatam Sayate Vakshastadana Shankaya Vichali Vakshastadana Mantakasya Kathina Pasmara Samvardhanam Bhugrit Paryatanam Namasurashiraha Kodira Sangharshanam Karmenam Rudalasya Tavakapadadvandvasya Kimvochitam Macheto Manipaduka Viharanam Shambho Sadangi Guru Vakshastadana Shankaya Vicharito Vaivasvato Nirjaraha Kotirojjvala Ratnadeepakalika Nirajanam Kurvate Drishtva Muktivadhustanoti Nibrita Shlesham Bhavani Pate Yachetastava Pada Padma Bhajanam Tasyeha Kim Durlabham Kridartham Srijasi Prapanchamakilam Kridamrigaste Janaha Yatkarmacharitam Maya Cha Bhavataha Prityai Bhavatyeva Tat Shambho Swasya Kutuhalasya Karanam Macheshtitam Nishchitam Tasman Mamakakshanam Pashupate Kartavyameva Tvaya. So in the previous class, we saw verses 65 and 66. Yechetaha Tavapada Padma Bhajanam Tasyeha Kindurlabham. So we saw in great detail how this verse can be interpreted in two different ways. Then in 66, so he was trying to argue with Parameshwara as if you have created this universe, and in your creation we cannot think of any purpose being associated with the creation, and therefore it has to be only for Krida. And if it were to be merely for Krida, then obviously myself being a component of the universe that you have created, I should also be considered as a toy which has generated happiness in you. Since I have been a source of joy for you, you have been benefited by me, and therefore So for you to be not a Kritaghna, it is your duty to protect him. Okay? So Kritaghnatvam is a dosha. So I have benefited you and therefore you have no other option but to save me. So that is what he was saying. Now in the present verse, which we are going to read, 67. So it is something which is very interesting in a slightly different way. Parama Sadashiva Bhavanam Prapadye is what he is saying. We will read the verse and then we will come to the interpretation. Bahuvidha Paritosha Bashpapura Bahuvidha Paritosha Bashpapura Bahuvidha Paritosha Bashpapura Sputapulakankita Charu Bhoga Bhumim Sputapulakankita Charu Bhoga Bhumim Sputapulakankita Charu Bhoga Bhumim Chirapada Phalakankshi Sevyamanam Chirapada Phalakankshi Sevyamanam Chirapada Phalakankshi Sevyamanam Paramasada Shiva Bhavanam Prapadye Paramasada Shiva Bhavanam Prapadye Paramasada Shiva Bhavanam Prapadye. So we saw that up to verse 27 he used a specific kind of a meter. And after that, from 28 to 66, 38 verses, 39 verses. So they have all been composed in a different meter. First it was Shikharini, then it became Shardula Vikriditam. So the Shardula Vikriditam is terminated at 66 and he has chosen another kind of a meter. The 67 is composed in a meter which is called Pushpitagra. The name of the meter is Pushpitagra. The word Pushpita has several connotations, but anyway, so we will just take it as a proper name, Pushpitagra. This Pushpitagra is a special kind of a meter. So special in the sense, it is not a samavritta. Most metrical compositions will be called as samavritta. So what we mean by samavritta is all the four quarters will have the same rhythm, same pattern of syllables. So in that case, this will be called as a samavritta. This Pushpitagra forms an example of what is called Ardha Samavritta. So Ardha Samavritta means, so half of it will be following a certain pattern and the other half will be following a certain pattern. When I say this half, it is not the first half and second half, but it is first and third. Okay? The odd quarters will have a particular pattern and the even quarters will have a different pattern. So here this Ardha Samavritta Pushpitagra, if you count, you can see that the first and the third quarters will have 12 syllables, whereas the second and fourth will have 13 syllables. So let me just count and show you. Bahuvidha Paritosha Bashpapura. Okay, so there it ends. Similarly, if you take the third quadrant, Chirapada Phalakankshi Sevyamanam, you get 12. So if you take the second and the fourth, see, second for instance, Puta Pula Kankita Charu Bhoga Bhumim, you get 13 syllables. Okay. Similarly, fourth will also have 13 syllables. So this is a special kind of a meter which normally is not employed by many poets. Okay? So, in fact, we can also think of Vishamavritta. Vishamavritta, in which all the four can be different. And the number of possible combinations will really grow exponentially. So, these things have been discussed in what is called Chandas Shastra. Now, in this Pushpitagra 12 and 13, so the definition goes like this. You can also learn the definition. Ayujina yugare phato yakaraha. Ayujina yugare phato yakaraha. Ayujina yugare phato yakaraha. Repeat.
Ayujina yugare phato yakaraha.
Yujicha najau. Yujicha najau. Yujicha najau. Jaragascha pushpitagra. Jaragascha pushpitagra. Jaragascha pushpitagra. Yujicha nagau jaraga. Yujicha najau jaragascha pushpitagra. Yujicha najau. Yujicha najau jaragascha pushpitagra. Yujicha najau jaragascha pushpitagra. So this basically gives you the kind of ganas that go into. So Ayuji, see the word yuk means even. Ayuji means in the odd quadrants. Okay, odd quarters. Ayuji. What is the pattern that you have in Ayuji? He says, Nayugare phato yakaraha. How do you understand? Nayuga rephato yakaraha. Nayuga means there are two naganas. So that is followed by ragana. Therefore, Nayugare phataha. Tadanantaram yakaraha means yagana. Nayugare phato yakaraha. Ayuji. This is in odd quadrant. Okay. Ayuji nayugare phato yakaraha. So now you can see this nagana is always lagu lagu lagu. Therefore, ayuji nayuga. So first 6 syllables are lagu. Ayujina yugare phato yakaraha. Then yujiche means in the even quadrant. Yujiche quadrants or quarter. So yujiche najau. Najau means nagana jaganau. Okay. Yujiche najau. Then you have Jaragascha pushpitagra. Jaragaha means Jaganaha, Raganaha, Tadanantaram Guru. Okay, so therefore you have 13 syllables. Nagana, Jagana, Jagana, Ragana and Guru. Yujicha najau Jaragascha pushpitagra. This is the definition. Now you see Bahuvidha paritosha. Bahuvidha. See. Bahuvidha pari. All are laghu. Bahuvidha paritosha bashpapura sphuta pulakankita charu bhoga bhumim. Chirapada phalakankhi sevyamanam paramasada shiva bhavanam prapadye. Oh, you can read that, okay, metrically. Now, bahuvidha paritosha. In fact, another interesting thing here is, so we have 12 plus 13 syllables, first and the second put together. So all the 25 syllables form a part of one compound. It is a long compound. So there are some things which can go beyond this also, but I'm just saying it is one interesting example. Bahuvidha paritosha bashpapura sphuta pulakankita charu bhoga bhumim iti ekam padam. So Bahuvidha, Bahu is many. Vidha refers to prakara. Bahuvidha means Bahu prakara. Okay, so many types. Bahuvidha paritoshaha. Paritoshaha is joy, ecstasy. Bahuvidha paritosha. And this Bahuvidha paritosha generates what is here referred to as Sphuta Pulakankita. So this is something which we have to understand in the context quite clearly. What he is trying to say is, this is in the context of bhakti. Tasman mamaka rakshanam pashupate kartavyam eva tvaya. So we need to connect what is stated before and what he is trying to convey here. So in the previous verse, see, if you see, so he was defining bhakti and then he was saying various things. And then he also said, Tasyeha kim durlabham. That person, kim durlabham, means what is difficult for him. So when you say difficulty, unless you set some goal, there is no question of anything is difficult. Now assume that you desire for something and you have set something as your goal. You can conceive as goal, or you can at least think of, so this is my ichha. Okay. Now this ichha vishayasya praptau, if there is a pratirodha, so then you land into difficulty. And you always keep complaining. Sometimes it will be, in fact, just today evening, just before the class, somebody was calling me from Europe. And that lady had to share her difficulties with me. So this is what happened, this is what happened. Almost she was crying over the phone. So over various difficulties. So I want to come to India. Various desires are there. So now I am caged here and so. This is not an Indian. Okay. So here this was happening. So this because she desires something and that desire is not fulfilled, and this has become durlabham for her, and therefore, so this durlabhya vastuni, so it is painful. Now if your desires, so you think of something and then it automatically gets fulfilled. So then automatically getting fulfilled is one aspect. Sometimes it just goes along the lines you think and then it gets fulfilled, right? Sometimes completely unexpected things happen and it gets fulfilled. So there are various cases out there. There are various cases, various kinds of possibilities are there. In fact, someone wanted to, let us say, so study Shastra, let us say. And suddenly there comes an opportunity, so to fulfill his wishes. Some scheme comes and he is able to study Shastra. He wants to also pursue some music, let us say, and some guru comes and he is able to pursue this music, pursue Shastra, pursue engineering, pursue various things. So this can happen, right? So this all of a sudden, you don't think of something coming in place, it comes in place and it facilitates you to learn. Suppose you want to do some research, let us say. So this happens that you want to do study, you want to do research, and suddenly someone comes to you and then says there is this research project, you go and join. So this can happen, right? So this is what is called prakaranam in Shastra Madhyala. If some project is taken by somebody and then that project requires your talents exactly, so you go and join the project. So they are looking for someone and you want to do, suddenly somebody comes as some Madhyama Purusha and then he tries to connect you. So this works so well for you, right? So this can happen. Suppose you want to take some project, okay, so to facilitate someone. So the director calls you and then says, so I want you to take up this project. So this can happen. There are various things that can happen. Suppose you want to go for a conference. Say someone tells you that I will book you the ticket for the conference. So you go. So when you don't know how to go, etc., everything is arranged. So these things do happen. So now many things that you feel like, so they just come in place. They just come in place for you. Now when you just recall, so those kinds of things, these are all happening by absolute coincidence. Absolutely. You will never think of ways by which it can happen. So I'll tell you one instance. This is something which is very, very interesting. So Ishvara can come and see you. So when you think of them, it will just generate you. Paritosha Bashpa Pura. There is no other way. Understand? Ananda Bashpa. So the instance is, so I come out of India for the first time. Okay? Some 20 years, 22 years ago. Okay? There was some conference somewhere in Mexico. Some conference in Mexico. So I didn't know the avenues, and then the tickets were also, because someone just said, we will sponsor you, go. So we went. So somebody told me that in Mexico, no food will be available. Indian food, Indian stores, etc. Neither people will speak English, so it is very difficult for them. So the conference is for 5 days. Conference is for 5 days. So 6th day I am supposed to leave. So I packed one full suitcase of snacks, sweets, etc., etc. So all that. Okay. So I packed one suitcase, some clothes, something. The other suitcase only eatables. So this is how I go. First time I go. This is 3-leg trip. So I go to London, London to San Francisco, San Francisco to Mexico, something. So when I landed up in Mexico, so I was waiting for the carousel to bring my bags. On the other hand, this was almost night, 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. Okay, late night, 9:30, something. Okay. When I landed there, so I see this big suitcase coming. Okay. So that contains some clothes, etc., etc. Then the other suitcase, which contained all my eatables, did not come. So I was just wondering, so all suitcases are coming, is not coming. I was worrying. Then I looked at the other side. I found very nearby only. So other side, so this customs did not allow any food to be carried inside. Okay. All of them were thrown out. Somebody was arguing, this is a packed item, sir, please. Something like that he was saying. So mercilessly they were throwing out. So now it is a double worry for me. So suitcase is not coming, the carousel has stopped. And the other side, even if it were to come, what do I do? How do I explain? They don't know the language. And they are also mercilessly trashing all things. So this is a, so Ubhayatas Pasha. Okay. I am just standing. So this is, Ishvara is Bhayakrit. We have in we have this phrase in Vishnu Sahasranama, no? Bhayakrit. But immediately the phrase comes, Bhayanashana. So what happened was, I was just looking for someone. I even tried to talk to people, one or two. First of all, I don't know what to do when the bag does not come. So I wanted to take some help. One or two were not listening, the other two were not knowing. And I was just thinking, oh, Ishvara, you have to save me. Then suddenly some fellow comes. Okay? On his own he comes, looking at my face. So he comes and then asks, what do you want? So I said, this is what has happened. I have come for this conference and bag is not seen. And this is also happening, I don't know what to do. Okay. He said, so there is a counter, you go and tell them that you are for a conference. Okay. And very important material is there in the bag for me to attend this conference. This is what you have to say. Okay. So then I go there. And then to the counter, I asked what is happening. I showed this card. So they said, after looking, they said this bag is stuck in San Francisco. Okay. And they asked me this conference paper, all that I showed. Then I said, so tomorrow I have this conference and I need this bag. Most important material is there. So then they looked at the next flight and then they said, tomorrow morning there is a 6 o'clock flight. And we will see to it that the bag comes to your hotel directly before 8:30. See, this is what is Bhayanashana. So I don't need to clear customs, so it will just come to my hotel. So this is what is. So when I look at some of these aspects, then it is Ishvara's grace. Completely unexpected ways he will come and save you. So you cannot but have paritosha bashpa. So that is what he is saying. Bahuvidha, in so many ways. There is no need. In fact, that lady I was telling you, there is no need to regret. What is this? You have done so many things. So we cannot be just lamenting. All the good things that are happening should be understood as the grace of Ishvara. And if something looks like, see, there are other things also which I can think of. So certain things which we feel initially is something which is not good, but it turns out to be most important thing that has to happen in your life. Okay? So there is nothing to regret. Bahuvidha paritosha bashpapura. The only thing that we need to learn is to take things as the grace of Ishvara. If once it is there, that's all, everything will fall in place. That's what he is trying to say in this and next verse. I'll tell you. Bahuvidha paritosha. So there are so many things that happen by which you feel really elated. Okay? So one after the other, Ishvara blesses you. Bahuvidha paritosha paritoshena bashpagura. So your eyes start pouring ananda ashru. Okay? Then as a result of that, sputapula kankita. So it becomes manipulated, okay, the entire body. Sputapula kankita. That state he is describing as charu bhoga bhumim. So that is a state. So it is a special state in which you will be thinking of none other than the grace of Ishvara for all the good. See, you don't need any other thing for you to feel good because all your organs are working today. See, you are blessed with all organs. There are so many people who don't even have. Somebody is not having leg, somebody is not having ear, lobe is gone. Somebody is unable to hear, somebody is unable to see. So this itself is a big blessing. So we have to think of each and everything as a blessing of Ishvara. Okay? Bahuvidha paritosha bashpabura sphuta pulakankita charu bhoga bhumim. We should elate ourselves, okay, and place in that state. Charu bhoga bhumim. Okay, that is the state that he is describing. Chirapada phalakankshi sevyamana. This is what is called Chirapadam. So Chirapadam means a permanent state. Okay, so not Achira. So any other thing that you possess, so your position, your power, this, that, etc. These are all Achira Padam. Okay. So Chirapada Phalam. Okay, Chirapada Rupam Yad Phalam. Okay, so that you are able to take yourself into that state. Okay, so that is this Chirapada. You can think of Kailasa, etc. We don't know whether it exists or not. But this state in which you can place yourself. Okay. So Chirapada Phala Kankshi. So those who are wanting to get into this state. Phala Kankshi Taihi Sevyamana. What do they? See, Sevyamanam means those who are desirous of reaching this particular state and conceive this as Parmaphala. So, Taihi Kim Sevyate. So he says, Paramashiva Bhavana. See, Paramasada Shiva Bhavana. So the Sevyamana, when you say, the Sevyamanam Vastu, Tadrisha Bhavana. Okay? Paramasada Shiva Bhavana. So at every stage thinking of the grace of Ishvara. Ramasada Shiva Bhavana Tadrisha Bhavanam Prapatti. He says, see, I take refuge in that Bhavana. So you don't need anything else for you to be saved. As long as that Bhavana is there, then everything comes and falls. It falls at your feet. So you don't need, you cannot design. Can you design your suitcase to be stuck somewhere? You cannot design. See? So these are all things that we need to understand in life. Paramashiv, see, if you want to get into association of good people, you cannot design. It has to happen. If we want to have a good teacher, we want to have a good guide. So these are all things which do happen. See, this is what is a great anugraha. That's what we have to understand. See, Paramasada, if you have that bhavana, so then that bhavana itself brings you everything. It brings all the necessary transformation in all other minds. So that is what is interesting to understand. That's why, see, so Kunti prays, not only Kunti prays, even Vritrasura prays. Vritrasura, there is an interesting verse. Nanaka prishtham, repeat. Nanaka prishtham na cha parameshthyam. Nanaka prishtham na cha parameshthyam. Nanaka prishtham na cha parameshthyam. Na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam. न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यम् again न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यम् अयोगसिद्धिः न योगसिद्धिः न योगसिद्धिः न योगसिद्धिः अपुनर्भवं वा अपुनर्भवं वा अपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसात्वा विरह्यकाङ्क्षे समञ्जसात्वा समञ्जसात्वा विरह्यकाङ्क्षे essentially he says, I don't need this word, I don't need that. Naka prishtham. Naka prishtham means Naja parameshtham means even the Brahmasthana which is much above conceived. Na sarvabhaumam, see, so not the monarchy. I am the lord of the entire world, this world. Na rasadhipatyam. Okay? Rasatala is a world. So I don't need the kingship of that. Na yoga siddhi, some people they can do this siddhi, that siddhi, etc. Forget all this. Apunarbhavam va, even punarjanma bhava, I don't care for. When? Without your bhava. Okay? So that is what is being said. So here also, that bhavana will give you all this. So that will give you. So therefore, Bhagavad Pada here prays the Chirapada Phalakankshi Sevyamanam Paramasada Shiva Bhavanam Prapatti. So if you take all the great people, Meera, Surdas, whoever Bhakta, all of them, they only seek for this bhavana and nothing else. Bahuvidha, why? It gives you immense pleasure. Bahuvidha paritosha bashpapura sphuta pula kankita charu bhoga bhumim. See, So this is the state to which it can take you. It is the state in which it can take you. See, there will always be something or other thing over which you can keep lamenting forever. And there are hundreds of other things. So it requires a certain maturity on your part. Think of those things rather than this thing. Second thing is, you have to first of all understand. In fact, today evening, so since this dialogue happened, I'll tell you, say while I was discussing with her, see there are other things which are very important. When you particularly become old, then your dependency increases, no doubt. Your dependency on others increases. Now, if you had done a lot of good things, then there will be definitely many people who will be around you to take care. You don't need resources. These are the resources. You may have plenty of resources, I have seen. But the attendant need not necessarily attend to you. That resources cannot make that love and affection that is required. So therefore it is important for you, see, when you are young, to see that you do certain good things. Number one, okay, physically to be looked after by others. This is number one. Second thing is, even assume that you have maintained exceedingly good health, that you need not be looked after. There are many people like that. Assume that there are few, not many, blessed people like that. Even for those blessed people, this physical health is one thing, mental health is a different thing. So for you to recount and feel happy, see, in this state, suppose you want to be this is possible only if you are able to recall that you have done something good to the society. See, that is what can make you feel that I have done something. In fact, I am reminded of a beautiful sloka. Let me tell. See, this is what Advaita says. I'll tell you one beautiful phrase. I am just reminded of that. Advaita, after he crossed 70, he is supposed to have recited this verse. I don't know where it is, but when I went for Tenali exam, once the examiner was quoting this in the evening talk. Talk means, see, general discussion with him. So then I immediately noted down this verse in my mind. He says, this is a nice verse. Chidambaramidam puram,
Chidambaramidam puram, Chidambaramidam puram,
Prathitameva punyasthalam, Prathitameva punyasthalam, Prathitameva punyasthalam, Sutascha vinayojvalaha, Sutascha vinayojvalaha, Sutascha vinayojvalaha, Sukrutayascha kaschit kritaha, Sukrutayascha kaschit kritaha, Sukrutayascha kaschit kritaha, Vayascha mama saptaterupari, Vayascha mama saptaterupari, Vayascha mama saptaterupari, Naiva bhoge spruha, Naiva bhoge spruha, Naiva bhoge spruha, spruha, Nakinchidahamarthaye,
Nakinchidahamarthaye, Nakinchidahamarthaye,
Shivapadam didrikshe param,
Shivapadam didrikshe param,
Shivapadam didrikshe param. This is the verse which is supposed to have been given by Advaita. What does he say? He says, Sri Chidambaram idam puram prathitameva punyasthalam. So I am living in a place which is supposed to be a very good place. So for people, there are some places where you want to leave your body in some kshetra. So this is a prasiddha kshetra. Sirambaram idampuram prasitameva punyasthalam. Sutasya vinayojjvalaha. He says, I have given birth to some children who are vinayojjvalaha. They are blessed with humility, or vinaya can also be taken as shiksha. Okay, shikshaya ujjvalaha. They have been trained well. They have also acquired humility. Then this phrase comes, Sukrutayascha kaschit kritaha. This is the phrase that came to my mind. See? So Sukrutayascha kaschit kritaha. This can be understood in two ways. He has of course composed several works, but Sukruti means you have done some good deeds. I have done at least a few good deeds. See? So if I had done some few good deeds, then see, that will make you feel that I have been a contributor in the society. Okay? That feeling will enable you to sustain yourself. Rather than keep lamenting, I have not done anything. And what do I do? There are so many people who are suffering like this, they have seen. Okay? But this bhavana doesn't come. Anyway, that requires some sukritam. See, sukrutayascha kaschit kritaha. Okay? Then he says, Vayascha mama saptate rupari. I have crossed 70. Nakalu bhogespraha. I am not keen to enjoy anything more in life. I only seek for that Parameshiva pada. Nakinchid aham arthaye Shiva padam didrikshe padam. Okay? I only seek that. So here, this is what he is saying. See, Chirapada palakangshi sevyamanam paramasada shiva bhavanam prapadye. See, that bhavana which can give me this aparimita ananda, I seek for that. Okay? Bhava, read this. Bahuvidha paridosha bashpapura sphura pulakankita charu bhoga bhumim Chirapada palakangshi sevyamanam paramasada shiva bhavanam prapadye. Next verse is also in the same meter. Amhitamudamritam muhurduhantim. Amhitamudamritam muhurduhantim. Amhitamudamritam muhurduhantim. Bimala bhavat padagoshthamavasantim. Bimala bhavat padagoshthamavasantim. Bimala bhavat padagoshthamavasantim. Sadaya pashupate supunyapakam. Sadaya pashupate supunyapakam. Sadaya pashupate supunyapakam. Mama paripalaya bhakti dhenumekam. Mama paripalaya bhakti dhenumekam. Mama paripalaya bhakti dhenumekam. Mama paripalaya bhakti dhenumekam. This is the prarthana. Bhakti dhenum ekam paripalaya. Dhenu means cow. So bhakti dhenu is a rupaka here. So he says, so may you protect the cow of devotion. The cow of devotion. This cow is also conceived as Mata. One of the earlier verses, he was saying, see, this Bhaktar Bhakam Rakshati. So I am Bhakta and Bhakti is my mother. So here he says, this Bhakti is Dhenu, and Dhenu we worship as Devi Mother. Mama Bhakti Dhenum Paripalaya. Acharya is not merely happy by saying Bhakti Dhenum Paripalaya. He says Yekam. So Yekam means that is one thing that is available. You don't need to protect anything else from it. This Bhakti Dhenu, if it is there, whatever comes, I will take it as prasada, and I will be in the state of Putapulakankita charu bhoga bhumim. You understand? You may be on the road, you may be under trees. Even then you can be a happy person. You may be in a 5-star hotel, you may be in a palace. You can still be terribly unhappy person like Dhritarashtra. Okay? So this Dhritarashtra was a completely worried fellow. So all the time. So what is the use of any of this wealth, any of the samrajya? So therefore he is saying, Mama paripalaya bhakti dhenu ekam. As long as this bhakti dhenu is protected, I don't care for anything. Now he says, what is this bhakti dhenu doing? Bhakti dhenu. Amita mudamrutam muhurduhantim. So mudamrutam is a beautiful phrase. The nectar in the form of happiness. Amita mudamrutam. Not once. Muhurduhantim. So the moment you have this bhakti and you have a beautiful literature like Sivanandalahari which has been blessed to us by Bhagavad Pada, you sing a few verses, that's all, you will be transcending. What else is required? Muhurduhanti, again and again and again. Why are you worrying about anything else? So what is gained by worrying? That somebody was saying, how can I be today? Was this morning somebody came to me. See, a group came, 5-6 people, with a Swamiji. And that person was saying, I am overthinking, what do I do? I said, there is no need to think, stop thinking. Overthinking what may happen. Why? No need to think. So the only thing that we can think is, suppose you have studied this verse and you did not understand the meaning, you can think. So suppose you want to do some research and you have some problem to solve, you can start thinking. So other thing, what happened yesterday, what happened day before, what happened 2 years back, what is going to happen after 2 months? Why think? No need to think. That is what, this is worry finishes people. Simply finishes. That's why he is saying, Amita mudamrutam muhurduhanti. What will give you this mudamrutam? So the other thing will be only amudamrutam. Okay? Amudvisham rather. Amita mudamrutam muhurduhanti. So that A should go before. It will make him a dead fellow. Mrutam. Mrutam karoti. Jivantam mrutam karoti. Okay. So this will transcend you. Amita mudamrutam muhur duhantim. Then he says, Vimala bhavat padagoshtama vasanti. See this dhenu, that is what is qualified by all this. This bhakti dhenu is Amita mudamrutam muhur duhantim. This bhakti dhenu, so again and again milks this for you. Okay? Mudamrutam muhur duhantim. It gives you, so the moment you are able to bring your mind to your control, then this gives you the milk of Ananda. And it repeatedly brings this to you, this dhenu. Amita mudamrutam muhur duhantim. Then Vimala bhavat padagoshthamavasanti. What does it do? Vimala bhavat padagostham. This goshtham means gohosthanam. Okay? Wherever cow stays. Gohosthanam goshtham. Bhavat padagostham. So it takes you to the goshtha of your feet. Vimala, so that makes you pure. Okay, so the place is pure, your mind is also going to be pure. Vimala bhavat pada goshtham avasanti. So the avasanti is also an interesting message. there is a sutra. Upanvadhyang vasaha. Repeat. Upanvadhyang vasaha. Upanvadhyang vasaha. See, so this is sutra which says, so when this vasudhatu is prefixed by see upanu etc. Ha is also there. So this will bring Dvitiya to the, that is why we have Vimala Bhavat Pada Goshtham Avasanti. Of course, this Vasudhatu should be used in that sense. If it is for some other meaning, see, so then it can take Saptami also. Grame Vasati is okay, Gramam Adhivasati, Upavasati is also okay. See, Grame Upavasati is also okay, but that should be for a different reason. So anyway, so that is Vimala Bhavat Pada Goshthamavanti. So it brings that Bhakti Dhenu. Sadaya Pashupate Supunyapakam. Sadaya is an addressing word to Ishvara. He Sadaya, He Pashupate Supunyapakam. This Dhenu, this Dhenu can only be obtained by good deeds. Okay? Supunya Pakam. So if you had done some good deeds, so this Dhenu will come and bless you. No, Paka is here, the outcome. Okay. Supunya Pakam. Okay. So the maturity. We talk of maturity. We put some money and then mature, etc. So this punya when they mature, it matures, it culminates. Mama paripalaya bhakti dhenu mekam. So may you protect this dhenu for me, this bhakti dhenu for me. Sadaya. So here he is saying, Hey Pashupate Sadaya, because you are highly compassionate. Okay. So even if some punya paka is not sufficient, may you kindly bless me. This on its own, if you have done good, so then this may come. So if this does not come, see, so it is the duty of people to just facilitate others, to make them appreciate the great blessing that one can obtain through this bhakti. This bhakti is not only in Ishvara but in Guru, in various other things. Yatha deve tatha gurau is also stated. That is why we have this santaha to guide us. So in them we should have faith. And then this naturally is taken to Ishvara because they show the marga. Sadaya Pashupate Supunyapakam Mama Paripalaya. This is some other interesting thing. If you just look at, why is he asking Parameshwara to Paripalaya? He is asking Tvam Paripalaya. You have to do Paripalaya. Huh? See. So Kartavyameva Tvaya is, of course, you can just bring in. The other thing is, this Paripalaya is the Sadaya and Paripalaya, they sort of imply something. See, in case, so sometimes we do, so you want to reap the benefit of a cow. Okay, and there are some cases in villages where they have been doing, but their children will go to America. These people will be sitting here, and they don't want to leave this cow. So this I have seen, and they cannot maintain this cow also. So what do? You request someone, can you please do it for me? Okay, there are some people I know, even in Delhi, they don't want to leave that cow. Okay, you may be in some big position, but their faith that this Dhenu is something which has protected me, which has brought me, etc. etc. So then, when you are unable to do, then you request someone to do. So similarly here, you can think of the prarthana being done under the condition that I am unable to do. Hey Parameshwara, you have to. So Sadaya Pashupate Supunyapatham Mama Parivalaya Bhakti Dhenumegam. I don't need. So there are some people who just request, okay, please take care of the cow. I want to have the benefit of that, but I am unable to protect. So therefore you request someone to protect it for you and Paripatma. So similarly here he prays to Ishvara, so to help this person have the Dhenu and get benefited by that. Okay, protection of Dhenu. Read. Amhitamudamritam muhurduhanti vimalabhavatpadagoshthamaavasanti sadaya pashupate supunyapakam mahaparipalaya bhakti dhenumekam. Okay, we'll stop here. Om sarve pasi santu sarve santaniramayaha.